Hi, it's Mr. Smith, and in this video I'll be giving you a video tour of MyLab Math, also known as MyLab, that's the older name. So this is our course, and this is a corequisite college algebra course. So let's go down to MyLab Math. Actually, let me change views so you're seeing the same thing that I see, or actually I'm seeing the same thing you see. All right, so we'll go down to MyLab Math. And the first thing you're going to want to do is click on the browser check, and you'll run that, and it'll tell you if you need to download any add-ins or anything else. That's also a good thing to do if you ever have problems with MyLab during the semester, something's not working right, you can rerun the browser check. Another thing that's always a good idea in a situation like that is you can restart your computer. So those two things will fix a lot of problems. Hopefully you won't have to go any further than that. So you're going to spend most of your time going to assignments, and so we'll get to that, but we're going to look at the other tabs first. All right, so you have a grade book. I'm not going to go in there. Really, all you're going to get out of the MyLab grade book is how you did on individual assignments like quizzes and homework. The overall grade is not going to be correct just because of the way the settings are in MyLab. You'll be getting your grades in bright space under the grade menu. And basically after every test, I'll update your grades. I'll put in your homework average, your quiz average, and your test, and that'll determine your grades. So make sure you go to bright space for grades. For the most part, this is where you can see your textbook. It does take a little bit of time to download. All right, so basically you have access to everything you would have in an actual paper copy of the book. So you can go over here, and this is the table of contents. You can go to any of the sections. Let's go ahead and click here so we can see more of the page. Now in a full screen, you'll be able to see the whole page. I've minimized the window so it makes for a better video. But anyway, you can go forward and backwards. You can type in the page number here. I do believe it's interactive, so you can click here and on some of the different icons. So if you're actually reading the book to learn the material, you can click on those interactive icons and get practice with practice problems and stuff like that. So it's very interactive, it's very good. But anyway, so that's where you find the book. I'm going to go ahead and click out of the tab. Now what I found is navigation with Brightspace isn't quite as good as it was with Blackboard, at least when it comes to working in MyLab, but most of the time we're only working in the assignments tab, or going under the assignments link. But let me show you these other things. Multimedia library. So this is where you have all the resources for the book in one place. So let's go to chapter 1, and we've got all sections, and it's going to show you all the resources that are available. So there's a couple things here, but I want to focus on these. You have your textbook for each section of chapter 1. These are PowerPoint notes, so you could just look at the notes. Again, you could read the book, look at the notes that are in the PowerPoints, and then these are the videos. Let's see. So you'll see a lot of this when we're doing the homework. I'll show you where you'll find that. So you don't normally really need to come in here, but later in the course you may want to come back to an earlier chapter, and this is where you can find these materials. So again, I'll click out of this tab. I'll click on the MyLab Math link here. And let's see, what else do we have? Accessible resources. So if you're concerned about accessibility, here's some PowerPoint slides that are accessible and some other things you may find of interest. And if you want to get a printed copy of the book, it's loose leaf and a binder. I think it's about $60, but you could get to that through this link. Integration support is where you go if you do have some serious problems during the session, and they'll need information from there. Hopefully that won't be the case. And I want to show you one more thing. If you go to MyLab Math Mindset, now I don't know if I'll have time, but if I do, I may assign some things that are in here. We'll just kind of have to see how things go this semester. I'm teaching a lot of classes, so I really don't know if I'll get to it. So I at least want to show you this. This concept of a growth mindset is really, it's great material. A lot of people struggle with their self-esteem and their how they feel about their ability to complete a math course or do things that are more difficult. And it just, a lot of that, I mean, it's easier said than done, but you really got to change your way of thinking. And this whole growth mindset, concept is really good. I think it's well worth looking at if you really feel like that's you. So let me go ahead and click out of there, and I'd be happy to discuss any of that with you. Okay, so I think that's everything. We're ready to go into assignments. All right, so you can see this is your first assignment for the 0317 class. It talks about college success. Transitioning to college, that's something you can look at if you're interested. It's something that came with the book, but you can check it out if you're interested. How to enter answers in MyLab Math. Most students these days are pretty good about using computers, but if you run into any problems, that's there. For some of you that aren't as comfortable with technology, you probably should go through that. This is a calculator that goes over the basics of the calculator that I recommend for this course. So those are all optional items, except for the first one. Notice it has a due date. The ones that have a due date are not optional. So we have a Chapter 1 skills review, and then these are your assignments. Now, let's go ahead and I'm going to go down here. So I want to show you what it is like for each chapter. So basically, you click on 5.6 videos, and these are the videos that are available to you. Actually, it's all the material that's available to you to help you learn the material for each section. So here, these are all videos. And let's see, I guess they don't really have one video just for the section. They're broken up by concepts. This is the PowerPoint, and this is the book. And so you can go to the book or the PowerPoint or watch videos to learn the material. Now I have a lot of material or a lot of videos that I'll be putting in. Mine will say 1T at the beginning and then the topic. In fact, I took my videos out and I'll be putting them back in just because I restructured this course this summer, and so, but I do have videos for most of the sections, hopefully all of the sections, and I'll get them in as soon as I can, although they may not end up being in here. I may have to put them elsewhere. All right, so let's go ahead and, so that's the video section. Now let's go to the homework. So let's go ahead and click on the first one. Now you can see the assignment, the due date. It tells you, if you're late, what happens. So basically it's 25% off. All right, and maybe it's not gonna, I thought I had some, I guess we can just do this one here. So we'll go ahead and look at this problem here. Let's see, what do we have? to go back to the beginning here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put in an answer. So let's see, I need to... I'm just going to put in some wrong answers here. So we'll say 44. That's not right. We'll try again. We'll put 404. That's not right. I'm just going to keep it there. I get one more chance. Final check. It tells me the correct answer and the answer that I gave. Now I can click on similar question and get a new problem, or I can go on. I'm just going to go on just to show you something here. So we got a red X, which means we got this wrong. And so now let me go ahead and do this one here. So we need to move that decimal 3 to the right. So we'll get 4150. And that is the correct answer. So notice we get a green check mark. And now if I want to go back, I can click on similar question. And oh boy, I get to go a lot of places here. Let's see. Okay, so let me see, I've got six zeros. All right, so 7, 8 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. So now I've got it right, and notice now I have a green check. So the thing I want you to see here is if you're willing to put in the time, you can get 100% on every homework. Now here's the buttons you have to help you do the homework. So you can click on Help Me Solve This, and it'll take you step by step and show you how to do this problem. You can click on View an Example, and it'll take you through it step by step with another example, and then you can come back and do this problem. So if you like this problem, you may not want to choose Help Me Solve This because it's going to give you a new problem. Some people will just view an example and then come back and solve the current problem. Your other help buttons, notice you can go to the textbook. So this is how you get to the textbook when you're in the homework. We're not going to use StatCrunch. Now sometimes there's videos and other stuff in here that doesn't look like there's one for this problem. You can also click on here. Now if everybody's constantly sending me these, I won't be able to keep up, but if on occasion you get stuck and you need some help, especially on the weekend, sometimes students are working and they're like, oh, maybe Mr. Smith will get this and can get back to me. And if I can get back to you quickly, I will. Sometimes it might take a little bit of time, but that's the nice thing is it sends me a copy of the problem. You can ask your question, and so it makes it really easy for me to respond to you whenever you have questions. And as long as I can keep up, fine, but I don't know, we'll see how it goes this semester. All right, so last thing I want to mention is you do have this button here. There's more on accessibility. You can print out the homework. Just be careful because I know in the past sometimes students print out the homework, do the problems, they go back into MyLab and the problems change, the numbers change. And so you might want to let me know if you have any issues with that. I haven't heard that recently, so maybe that's not an issue, but that's just something to keep in mind. So I think that's everything I wanted to show you. If you have any questions or run into any problems, just let me know. All right, that's all, folks.